Hey, it's Old Dude here, coming at you from the old, I guess, Old Dude archives, where all the memories of the past are stored. But today I got something a little bit different. I got this machine from my daughter who makes T-shirts and things with it. It's a Cricut machine. Cricut machine is what I'd call it. Cricut. And it quit working on her, so she asked me to take a look at it. Trying to figure out how this thing, it's not feeding material, I guess is the right way to say it. It doesn't feed the material properly. So this is a circuit maker. And to be fair, she's probably had this machine 5 years. From what I can tell, this is a cutting head. It's got a little blade on it. But you're supposed to feed these things into it. Like this thing right here. It's got a piece of material on it, and it's supposed to go in here. That's what she tells me. And, well, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but yeah, it's supposed to go in there. Let's try it differently. Maybe put it in there this way. Well, I figured out that's really hard to do single-handedly because it wants to fall off there. So hold on just a second. I've got it loaded up in there. And you push this button, and it should be pulling that in. It should pull this pink thing in there. And what I can tell from looking at it, okay, I'm going to pull this out now. Kind of go in here and show you a little bit of a up close what's happening. Close as I can get in there. If you look, it's got these little rubber rollers, and you can see that one right there. And this is just the best that I can understand. This little rubber roller, it's probably supposed to be over here on this area over here where it's got a detent. It's kind of that this rod doesn't really spin. But that thing down in there, that little knurled wheel, it does, that's the motor, that's what turns it, and it just pulls, these just roll. I don't know what these little things are, but I guess they hold the material down, but they slide around pretty easy. And then you can see this one over here is really off, and you can see that knurled wheel down there. And when I push the kind of the go button up here, this double arrow, when I push that, you'll see that knurled thing right there start spinning. Okay, now that was going in. Now it's unfeeding the material. Maybe. Anyway, I don't know what it was doing. It's doing something. But I think because this is moved over and it's not on top of that knurl, there's no pressure to feed the material. So my goal is here to fix this for her is to move this back over there and move that one back over there. And I'll bet you that fixes it. So stay tuned. Well, as it turns out, getting those little rubber donuts to slide down that metal tube, that metal bar, was not as easy as I thought it would be. I ended up having to take a good sized flat screwdriver and just working it back and forth, side to side, and underneath. It was kind of pinched in between the bar and the plastic housing, and it would not move. I think it has a little bit of glue on the bar side, and it was really tough. I tried spinning it and everything I could think of, but really the only way I could get it to move without taking it apart was just working it back and forth, side to side.
That's working. Wow, not the best shape. Okay, so obviously that's what it's supposed to do. So now you can see when I push this, these spin. And this bar spins, but it was so bound up because they got interesting.
So at this point, the machine is basically fixed. I'm just trying to figure out how the machine works now, and inserting the material into the machine and getting it fed in and making sure it feeds and unfeeds this piece of material. And then I'm going to move on to actually making it do something just to make sure. But moving these two donuts out to the outside actually made it feed material, which was the original problem she was having.
So what I want to watch is what that does. It just unfeeds. feeds.
So okay, now I have the app loaded on my computer, talking to this machine with her little design. And what I want to do is, like, understand it, is push this button, and this thing is going to start feeding. I want to watch what happens to those rollers. In theory, there you go. Okay, you can already see it. You can already kind of see that one roller moving. That roller's already moved to the outside. That roller's still pretty good. Let me get my light. Okay, now you can kind of hopefully see them better. Okay, they don't really. Interestingly enough, though, I can see those white things, those two white things, making tracks. I don't know if that shows up, but you can kind of see the tracks it's making. They're almost cutting into the back side of that material. Why would that be? But the wheel hasn't moved. But you see where it's digging in? You can kind of see where those are. This is the back side, because this is going to be a t-shirt or something she's making. But those definitely hold the material down. The wheel moves back and forth a little bit. Don't know. Should I glue them down or not? I guess that's a question. How to keep them from moving. Okay, well, we'll let it finish and see what it says. But the wheels appear to still be where they belong, the rubber rollers. That one moved out and never moved again. And I guess since this thing is done, all I do is hit this flashing button and it unloads it. But it's working again, so she should be happy. Okay, well, after a few more runs at this, watching, these wheels did actually try to twist on that rod and start rolling up. So what we did this time, I was gonna hot glue them, but what I really decided to do is just run one of these white things right out to the end, because they move, and that thing will probably move over, and that's worked for the next couple of runs just to keep them straight. But there's obviously something going on there. Maybe they've gotten old and misaligned or out of round, so they tend to walk off. They'll walk off down this bar and come up here and wedge, and then pretty soon this bar won't turn, and it doesn't feed, it just stops working. So working now, so she's happy. She said, but we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Well, I'm going to admit that one's a little strange one, but we got it working, and she's been making t-shirts and letters for her kids now back in class, so it's working good. Hey, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like the content. Let me know what you think. If you've had experience with these, I would love to know if there's something that I should do about these rubber pieces to stop them from moving.